There's a reason lightning spells are banned in Town Hall 9 competitive play, you know. I'm gonna show you why. Again. So what we're going to be doing in this strategy is using spells and heroes to destroy as many air defenses as possible in the beginning. Now, keep in mind, if you can destroy 3 air defenses without your heroes, then you can always use your heroes on the back end, which is actually going to be used in most of the replays today. And then you're going to use the Electro Dragon to clear a section of the base. Sometimes, if you're savvy with Electro Dragons and you know how the chain works, then you can use those to take out an Archer Queen or an air defense or other high value targets as well. But anyways, after that, you're going to drop your dragons similarly to how you did at Town Hall 7 and Town Hall 8 so that they stay together and encounter the CC troops together. Because especially if you have high level Town Halls, Town Hall 12s, in the war donating high level troops, you really want to get rid of those troops very quickly. Again, we're going to be focusing today on the Electro Dragon in the CC, just because the Electro Dragon can act as a phase on its own, taking out a section of the base as long as you keep it away from sweepers especially, and air defenses, and the Archer Queen. But anyways, we're not going to be using any hounds today, but they can be useful for tanking a air defense that you haven't taken out with your spells. And you're going to see 2 different styles of attack today. You're going to see one where I personally prefer to zap 3 air defenses and then save a rage spell. And then you're going to see a style from Rambo where he just likes to zap as much as possible in the beginning. Both are very effective. I'm going to show you how to do both here. Now, one of the most important things about attacking is the plan of the attack. So I want to do a little exercise with you. I want you to pause the video, and I want you to tell me where I'm going to zap. At least one place I'm going to zap. There's a very obvious spot. And then I also want you to tell me where I'm going to put the Electro Dragon. That should also be very obvious. Okay, have you hit play? Okay. Well, there's a flaw in this base that you should always be exploiting when you're at least decent with dragons, and that is that these 2 air defenses over here to the bottom left of the CC can be hit with 1 zap spell, which means I'm able to use the level 9 lightning and 2 level 6 lightnings to take both of those out. And there's also an air sweeper in that blast zone as well, so I'm going to take actually 4 defenses, given the mortar is there as well. Remember, the mortar doesn't hit the dragons, but what it does do is create a bigger dead space, okay? The more dead space you can create, the better. Now, you may be thinking, well, there's also another spot. You have those 3 archer towers right next to the air defense. That is also a very dangerous spot for dragons. But there's also a sweeper there, okay? And instead of zapping that, I'm actually going to zap the opposite side. I'm going to zap the bottom air defense, especially since it's not reachable by my heroes. And then I'm going to charge that area with my dragons. And by the time I get through there, there will be very little threat left, especially after the Electro Dragon is done. Now, where did you think I was going to put the Electro Dragon? If you said I was going to put it at around 4 o'clock to kill the Archer Queen, then you are correct. Those buildings are all very close to each other, and no matter where the Archer Queen goes in that area, she is going to be stuck on the end of some Electro Dragon chains. And before she has a chance to do anything at all, she is going to die at the hands of the Electro Dragon. And when you're dealing with a level 30 queen, that is always helpful. Okay, she can be a threat, so I start with the Electro Dragon because I know it's going to take the Electro Dragon time to go through that area. Now I go over here, and there's my first 3 spells. And now keep in mind here, I do use the Earthquake spell for a reason, okay? I use the 3 lightning spells, and I use the Earthquake spell. The reason I use the Earthquake spell is because you have that high hit point defense, the Expo there, and the Earthquake is going to soften it up a lot more than the lightning spell. So when you have buildings like that close by, I always recommend using the earthquake spell because it'll help the dragons move through the base quicker. Anyways, now I'm going to start dropping my dragons here, and I drop them heavy because you have a lot of high hit point structures over there, which can slow down any kind of mass kill squad type thing. But you're going to see me use the rage. I always like to use the rage when the CC comes out, especially if you have those high level troops donated by Town Hall 12s. And admittedly, I do get a little bit lucky. My dragons do kind of veer off away from that air defense, but eventually they do get it down. But as you can see, my Electro Dragon has got an insane amount of value on the bottom here, and I should have done a better job panning down to it, but you see what I mean. Anytime you see a spot like that where there's not a whole lot of air targeting stuff, it's usually a good place to put the Electro Dragon. So my dragons are kind of weak over there, but I decide I want to get my Electro Dragon over there to help the dragons as quickly as possible. So I drop my heroes to help take out all this trash, sending my Electro Dragon back in, and it actually turns out to be a comfortable win with swag hero abilities. Now we're going to do the same exercise as far as the scouting here, since scouting is the most important step of an attack. And this time I want you to tell me which direction I'm going to send my dragons. And there are two reasons. Okay. Two reasons. You could argue it's one reason, but anyways, pause the video and then come back once you think you have an answer. Okay. So now you're back. Now, if you look at the value you can get with your zap spells, you'd think, well, I can get both sweepers along with an air defense. But what else can you get along with the sweepers? Nothing. Nothing at all. So, how can we get more value but not have to fight the sweepers? Well, both sweepers are facing away from the queen, which is perfect. And this is meant to defend attacks like Gola Loon. This is why a lot of people have a bunch of old school bases like this that make it vulnerable to Zap Dragon. So what we're going to do, instead of prioritizing zapping the air sweepers, we're just going to send the dragons at the queen and from behind the air sweepers, and then we're going to prioritize taking out archer towers. And we're going to get 3 archer towers as well as the 3 air defenses that we need in order to do this. And my heroes are going to be used down at 6 just to keep my dragons going into that air defense. Now my Electro Dragon drop is not great on this one. Full disclaimer, the plan was for the Electro Dragon to end up on the town hall or that elixir storage up top, but he ends up coming down south and gets killed by the Archer Queen and the air defense. Now again, as you can see, it takes a really long time for the Electro Dragon to get close to air defenses, so to save time I drop the Electro Dragon right before I start taking out these defenses. And I drop my lightnings fairly quickly because I want to get on with this. And as you can see, I can reach both of those air defenses with the quake. Okay. Now I have my heroes on the bottom here, far away from the CC, so that they can get their value without luring the CC. Remember, with your baby heroes, you need to scout very carefully. They're also kind of cross-tanking with the dragons. You see the king is tanking the archer tower there, which is really good for the dragons on entry. And the heroes did their job even though they're very low level. Okay, you want to use your heroes if they're low level in places where there are no enemy heroes and not a whole lot of DPS. So at this point my heroes are going to die, but it's fine because they've done their job, and so did the Electro Dragon. And at this point we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 air targeting point defenses left, which is just not enough to stand up to these dragons. And I know it looks a little sketch, but as you can see, my dragons are going right down the middle here, and this is going to end up in yet another comfortable 3-star against a base that was 1 Archer Queen level away from being maxed when you're concerned about the Zap Dragon attack. So I'm just going to speed through this because my dragons are doing just fine. Though The only problem with this attack, and it was close on time, is those builder huts. I will admit I was a little lucky here. So in the next attack, you're going to see Rambo does have some archers, and you definitely want to use those for the builder huts, just in case. So now we have an attack by Rambo. This is no longer an engineered account. As you can see, there is plenty of time left here. Okay, so now on this base you can see the sweepers are pointed in opposite directions, which makes it more appealing to take those sweepers out, which is exactly what Rambo is going to do here. Now remember, if any two air defenses are close enough to hit with one earthquake, that means you can use all your spells to take out 3 air defenses, which is the variation of the strategy that Rambo likes to use here. So he uses the 3 lightnings on each one, 3 lightnings being enough to take out a max air sweeper at TH9. And now at this point, let's freeze frame right here. So now you have 2 options as far as how to use your heroes. One is pretty obvious in that you would use your heroes to charge the air defense, and since Rambo's heroes are pretty high level, he should be able to do so just fine. All he would have to do was put some kind of funneling troop over at 9 o'clock, take out the barrack and that elixir collector over there. A baby dragon would be fantastic for that, or possibly even a giant and some wizards if you don't have that unlocked yet. But anyways, that's one option. But Rambo is going to charge that air defense, and he's going to use his heroes to help corral his dragons later on, which is also a very effective way that Rambo usually uses his heroes, and I'll show you what I mean later on. For now, let's get the replay started. Let's see how he uses his Electro Dragon. So you don't see it right now, but his Electro Dragon is all the way over at 3 o'clock. Since the only thing that can really harm the Electro Dragon over there is the Archer Tower, and Electro Dragons really don't care about Archer Towers. They can take their damage for quite a while. Now, the way he's using his archers here right now is a little bit wasteful, especially given you have builder huts, but it doesn't really matter. This base goes down very easily. He drops 2 funneling dragons. Remember, your funnel's not done after you use the zaps. And then he just charges the air defense. Nice and easy. Now, the Electro Dragon over there is doing his job in that part of the base, clearing that, keeping the dragons focused on the middle. And unfortunately, some of the dragons go down south. But now you're going to see how he uses his heroes here. You're going to see his Barbarian King come up top. And then if you look at the Dark Elixir drill over at around 2 o'clock, you can see that a queen takes that, can go to the army camp, and then we'll take out the Archer Tower, which is a good contingency plan for that back end air targeting defense, which is perfect, especially since the Archer Tower is the kind of thing that the heroes and the dragons can cross tank for. But anyways, we've got 3 dragons still alive. Both heroes haven't used their ability. Rambo's going to use the ability on the queen here to kill that Valkyrie. And we just have 1 Expo. Now, Expos are annoying in that they have a whole lot of HP, but they don't necessarily do a lot of damage. Nicely done by Rambo. As always, he's gotten very good at this attack. So just remember when you're using this attack to make sure you get 3 air defenses down. Now, most of the time you'll want to charge that air defense like you've seen in the 3 replays here, but that doesn't mean that you can't leave it on the back end as long as you have a plan for it, whether it's back end heroes, back end loons, or you just have really crystal clear pathing and you use a delayed rage or even a freeze spell or 2 to access the air defense while minimizing its damage on your dragons. Now, I realize it may be redundant to make repeated guides for Zap Dragon, but I do believe this strategy is versatile and strong enough to warrant more iterations, and they will come more often as well because so many people in my clan are using Zap Dragons with immense success. So if you do like this attack, if you've been using it, if you're improving, hit the like button. If you want to see more guides like this and guides on strategies no one else is using, then subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can stay up to date.